So there's this image that came out of Louisville, Kentucky. Now we know Louisville is where Breonna Taylor had lost her life. And, you know, the people have been taking a stand and protesting about Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, the many victims out here of racism and police brutality. Well, the image that we'll put this image up, Brother Sharif can put that up, is of Mzungu women forming a human shield between themselves and the police. Now, let me tell you how that led up to that. So the image was captured itself by a photographer by the name of Tim Druck. He said it was scores of Mzungu women in Louisville lined up arm to arm to form a human shield separating the Louisville Metro Police from protests expressing their anger about the murder of Breonna Taylor and the countless other black people at the hands of police. Now, they said they were using their bodies as sacrificial lambs. They offered up their white privilege. They say for the safety of black men, women, and children. They say the photo went viral, and it dismisses a divisive narrative that people of different races can't get along. That's what they're saying here in the article. Now, they were saying that this is a line of white people forming a barrier between black protesters and the police. Say this is love. This is what you do with your privilege, according to the Post. Okay. So they also were saying she was asking for white folks to use their privilege and put their bodies between police and other demonstrators, and people responded. They didn't need to be convinced. They said everybody was willing and enthusiastic about it. Now, my position on that, I think that's a good gesture to do something like that, and shout out to those Mzungu women for doing it. I have nothing bad to say about it. Shout out to you. I think you should put yourselves out there on the front lines. I think it is more so your responsibility to end racism. It's not black people's responsibility to end racism because we didn't create it. We didn't import it here. It didn't come from the continent of Africa. None of that. It didn't. So this is a Mzungu problem to solve, because if you don't solve it, it's not going to be good for you. I would say that much, more so than us. So you need to go ahead and solve that and solve it very soon. Now, I know you get a lot of pushback within your own community, because they see photos like this and people in your community get angry. Oh my God, they get angry. The white supremacists, they are livid when they see Mzungus putting up Black Lives Matter, or they see them at the protest. Oh, I mean, it just runs through them. They can't stand to see whatsoever other Mzungus holding up Black Lives Matter, wearing a shirt say Black Lives Matter, whatever, right? Now, am I saying that, oh my God, now we can start trusting you? No. You got to put in a lot of work, and you got to put in some policies as well to make sure that we can actually get to the point where we could even think about trusting. But if you're trying to do something, this is one thing that you can do. Maybe some of you can watch it. It is time to right the wrongs of America, right? And if you want to do that, we need to push for the $17 trillion reparations payment. And some of you may say, well, where we get the money from? The Federal Reserve prints money. And you can tell the Federal Reserve, listen, we need $17 trillion for African Americans. And you already got their information anyway with the stimulus check for coronavirus. And you can go ahead and just deposit our reparations in our bank accounts. I mean, you could do it like that. And that'll be definitely the first step that I would believe and say, okay, this current generation is trying to really get rid of racism and fix the stain of America. You guys may be the ones to do it. You younger people who are Mzungus, you may be the ones. The older ones, listen, I didn't kind of, we already know how they own, that they ain't not going to change. We have in the community wrote them off already, right? They're done. But when it comes to you, maybe you are the people that will say, let's go ahead and pay reparations once and for all. Let's do that. Let's right the wrong. You could fix the standing of America throughout the world. Listen, if the world see you pay reparations, then you will be a leader again. You will be a leader in the world. You'll be the leader of healing, the leader of setting right equality, erasing the wrong. You will be the leader of that if you do that. The world will look at you, and guess what the world would do? They will start paying reparations as well, because they don't want to be the only ones that now they have the stain still on them. The UK they would pay reparations if you do it first. So you take the lead. Then we would know that you are serious. The human shields are great. I'm not taking away from that. But let's go on and make sure we continue the human shield by setting a system of equality. And the first thing you can do is close the wealth gap by paying reparations. Because the reparations conversation has to be in the forefront. See, we're protesting, and that's great, but we got to start talking about things that we got to have tangible out of this. While everyone's listening, while the world is watching, we need $17 trillion in reparations to African Americans whose people was brought here and enslaved here for all the things that we went through. 'Cause we lost a lot during Jim Crow and Reconstruction, all of that. We built towns, we built businesses, we built all the things that we have built, and we need to be compensated for not only slavery, but what happened after slavery, what happened during Jim Crow. And $17 trillion will be the right number. So you guys, that's one start you can make, is push for reparations. And then the black community may start having a different thought process after that. We'll know definitely you guys want to get on the right track. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the situation with them, standing in between the police. Like I said, once again, I'm not taking away from that. I think that's good for them to do, because the police, have been a creation of their community. So I think they should stand in between them and rein them in. But let's make it a lot further. Let's go for reparations.